I think we're on live. Welcome to Boutique Bridal. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Boutique Bridal. My name is Ann, and I'm the creative director behind Boutique Bridal. And today I have a special guest, Hang Doan, who is a special friend of mine that I've been, wanting to come on and join me on this broadcast. She's been married for 14 years. Mm-hmm. And she's helped couples prepare for their marriage for the past 9 years, yes. Right? And sorry, we had some technical difficulties. I hope we're live right now anyway. And so we're going to check and see if we're live. So it's like whatever you guys see, it's happening in real time. And we actually recorded ourselves and nothing was happening. So we apologize. It's starting at 1 this week. So normally it will start at 12:30. But today we decided we're just going to go live anyway, even though we had some technical difficulties. So I hope you guys are here to join us and have some fun. Hang is going to be guiding us through how to make a boutonniere. And then we're going to start sharing after we create it on being... we're going to have a discussion about being the right person versus finding the right person.
Yes.
So, Hang, you want to start showing us the ordinaries on?
Sure. So here,
the supplies basically we need for the boutonniere.
So what we have is before we start, I just want to say that I am by no means a professional. So we do this for fun, and me having such a big family, we do gather every time there is a wedding. We gather together and we do this, and it's a good.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I'm actually one of 10, and so and I have over 50 nieces and nephews in our family. So we've had a lot of nights like this where we sit together and we talk, we chat, and we laugh together during the times that we're making the boutonnieres for the family.
Right. Okay? So this is like the boutonniere that we'll be creating.
Yes. And so first we have flowers, right? Yep. And then we have some fillers.
Yep.
Okay.
For you?
Yes. We have wire. Okay. Pliers to cut the wire. We have pins for the finished product. Okay. And then we have some ribbon. So if you wanted to add some ribbon to add some flair to your boutonniere, there you go. And of course, last but not least, we need floral tape. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a flower for Anne and a flower for myself.
While you're doing that, I'm going to, if you guys feel that this is something that you're going to enjoy, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with someone that you may that they may find helpful to view the tutorial, or even join us later on YouTube or Instagram. So thank you for joining us, and Hang's going to show us.
Okay, so what I just did was I cut a flower for Anne and a flower for myself, and if you see here, I have a little bit of, I left a little bit of a stem so we can put the wire through. Okay, so there's yours.
Thank you. How long does this stem?
Maybe about an inch or a little bit less.
Okay.
I think that's a good way to. And then next is I've cut the wire, so that's about 5-6 inches long. Okay, that's for Anne, and this one's for myself. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm putting the wire through the stem of the rose.
Okay, so you just kind of poke it.
Yes, poke it right in the middle, and then I bend it down. Can you see through this like this? See, and then I have a little bit of stem. Okay. So next, what I'm doing is I'm using the floral tape, stretching it out a little bit so it helps stick, and I'm wrapping the floral tape around the stem.
You want to hold it
and the wire. I'm sorry,
it's
like
okay.
this. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm covering it. I'm covering the entire stem and the wire Okay, so here you go. And Anne's going to do that next.
Thank you.
Okay, and so while Anne's doing that, I'm going to be cutting the fillers.
What I find helpful is that, while you're pulling the tape out, you kind of stretch the green tape. Oops, I keep tearing it.
Yeah.
And it makes it more stickier, so
Okay.
you can.
So here are some of the fillers. I'm going to give Anne some. And then with the fillers, you can go, it's pretty much whatever you think is pretty to your eye. I personally like it to be very simple. Something like this. You can see the little fillers right here. Maybe I'll add one or two more. Okay, so here you go. So this is what I'm going to do with mine. And
Thanks
next,
for cutting mine. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And then next, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to wrap it with the floral
How long
tape.
do you cut the filler flowers?
Well, you want to cut it. See, what I've done is I've cut it a little long, so that way we have something to wrap.
Oh, like some height and
yes, give it a little
something
bit of
long
height.
enough.
Yes,
Maybe like an inch. I see like
yes,
about an
maybe
inch.
yes. Or if
A little
it
bit.
turns out to be a little too long, you can always cut it. And so next, what I'm doing is I'm wrapping the fillers with the floral tape. Okay, all right. So here you go. And what I did was, what I'm doing now is I'm folding up the wire a little bit. So if you like it simple, this is it. Okay, and then I would I would complete it by adding a pin to it like so. Okay, but if you want a little bit of flair or a little bit of color to your boutonniere, you can add a ribbon. So for mine, I'm going to be adding this black and white one, and I'm going to give Anne the rustic ribbon so she can use on hers. So that way you can see the two different looks.
Okay, so the whole point of the wire hang is for us to be able to kind of curl it.
Curl it and bend it
give
however
some structure.
Yes,
as well.
however we want, because if you don't use the wire, it you wouldn't be able to bend it or manipulate it however you want. Okay, so here I am. I'm wrapping the ribbon. I'm starting at the bottom, guys, so that I can fold it in a way where it doesn't show. See, and what we can do is, see, Anne's using the rustic one, and here I am.
And I'm cutting about 5 inches.
Yes.
Of the
So
ribbon.
So if you can see, okay, with mine being the black and white and Anne being the rustic one, you see the two different looks. Same flowers, same fillers, but just a little bit of a different look to it. Okay, so this would be the...
By the way, I just want to note that these are real flowers.
Real flowers, yes.
That Hang works with. I actually have a tutorial on working with a bouquet of fake flowers, and I'll link that below in the description section for you guys if you want to view that tutorial. And so I am using the rustic, so it gives it a different look.
Okay.
Normally we would glue it down.
Yes, with glue gun, but
Oh
so for today we want to show you guys the finished product. Okay.
That
so
was easy.
It's very easy, and see with
And
this
quick.
one we added a little bit of the ribbon on top just to give it a little bit of a different look. And so as you can see, it's actually very, very simple. So if we can do it, you definitely can do it at home too.
Definitely,
Okay?
definitely. Like we said, we're not professional florists. We just
Yeah.
like to do this, and we like to create for fun.
Okay.
So thank
Yes,
you
and
for
to
showing
help
us.
help our family members out whenever there is a wedding. So
Right.
yes. So I hope you enjoyed that part.
That was very easy. That was very easy.
Yes, very simple.
How long
right?
did it take us just to make one?
Did it take us about maybe 8 minutes? 8 minutes?
Yeah.
And if we want to add a little bit of conversation in there, 10 minutes to make one boutonniere.
This is always fun when you gather your family. You know, like
Yes.
it's like a family reunion, and then
Yes.
you do it. And
Always the
talk
night
and share.
before when all the families gather together. That's when we normally do it.
Thank you for showing. This is beautiful.
Yes, very nice.
You guys like it? You guys like it? Let us know in the comments section below if you thought it was easy, if you enjoyed the tutorial. Now we're going to get ready to start sharing So Hang's gonna share a little bit more. Like I said, she's been in marriage, helping young couples prepare for marriage for 9 years already. She's married herself for going on 14 years.
Yes.
And so she was the perfect person, I thought, to share about marriage, and I've been wanting her to come on. So I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. By the way, she has 4 kids now. So welcome, Matthew, the 4th one, not too long ago. How old is he now?
He will be 4 months next week.
Congratulations, he's a cutie.
Thank you. But thanks, Anne, for having me and giving us this opportunity to share about marriage, which we are so which we're so passionate about, the ministry of marriage. Yeah. And so I just want to start by. We've for engaged couples, the wedding preparation is really everything that's on their mind, like from the pictures to the video to the wedding dress to renting the tuxedo, the seating chart, the getting the restaurant. So much preparation in preparing for a wedding. And so come wedding day, I thought that it would be a good starting point for us today would be to read the vows to you. The vows that the bride and the groom will be reciting to each other during their wedding ceremony, and it is in fact a promise that they vow to each other to love and to honor. And so the vows sound like this, and I'm sure it's very familiar to all of you. Okay, so it would be I take you, and the man always goes first, okay? So I take you to be my wife. I promise to be faithful to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, to love you and to honor you all the days of my life. And so as you can see, 6 simple lines, but very comprehensive for all married couples to remember those promises and the vows that we give to one another. And so in addition to the vows that the bride and the groom recite to one another, there's also an exchange of the rings. And so I'd like to bring all of your attention to in the vows, you notice that it's I take you, I promise to be true to you. Okay, so it's us promising. Okay, and so again, we move on to the ring, to the ring part, exchange of the rings, and so the groom goes first, and he says that receive this ring as a sign of my love and I'm sorry, let me start again. Receive this ring as a sign of my love and fidelity, okay? And so if you are Catholic, we conclude with in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. And again, as you can see, just like the vows, it's I take you and please accept me, okay? Yeah. Accept this ring. Yeah. And so during the wedding, at the wedding, that's what we do. We promise of ourselves, okay?
So each person promising to the other person. It's not one person promising to the other person.
Exactly. It's the bride and then the groom. So it's both parties making this promise. Mm-hmm. And so the wedding day ends, okay, and the couple goes on their honeymoon and whatnot. And so come the daily lives, the daily
life of
marriage, yeah. Okay? And so all of a sudden we forget that we've made these promises, and we start to have expectations for our spouse. Expectations of them doing something to make us happy, okay? And we forget that I promise to do this and that, but yet when we come home and daily life hits us, and it's, why isn't she doing this? Why isn't he doing this to make me happy? Okay, and so then it's so you see there's that turn.
I definitely went through that stage.
Exactly, and I think all of us are guilty of that, and we don't realize that. Yeah. And being being with the couples and repeating it over and over and over, I found that I'm guilty of that too. I was expecting my husband to make me happy, and it's so funny because we have all these expectations and it goes unsaid. Most of the time we don't voice these expectations, but we expect them silently.
Because we assume that they know what we
that
are
they know.
thinking.
Yes. If I've married him and he's supposed to be this perfect person for me, he needs to know me, and he needs to. But that's very, very not true, and it's very contrary to the realities of married life. Okay, and so I'd like to move on by. So today we're talking about being the right person. And so what are some of the first steps in us of being the right person for our spouse? And I think the first thing would be accepting the fact that our spouse, God calls us to each other, the husband and the wife, to be with each other as companions. And the whole point is to walk together in the same direction and having the same goals for our
to
family.
have a common goal
Have
that
the
you're
common
walking
goal.
together towards.
Yes, instead of looking towards each other, which a lot of couples think that, your eyes are so creamy, and I want to look at you
so
all day long.
beautiful.
And but if you notice that if we are walking together, the husband and the wife is walking together and facing in the same direction, we're not looking at each other. And so we're looking towards the common goal, right? And because if you find that when you look at each other, you start to notice the flaws.
Right.
You start to point out the imperfections. Yeah. So if you're looking towards the same direction, you don't have that option. Okay, so it's more of it kind of creates that.
When you're
that
looking
team.
at each other, you're picking everything wrong about that person, and then over time, beauty fades. You know, your emotions fade. The love feeling fades. Yes. And that's not really love.
That's not really. It's very. See, it's
so
emotion.
That's where
love, love is not
and
really based on emotion, like the feel good feeling. If we're talking about a marital love, a long lasting kind of love, okay. And so whenever frustrations of our daily life builds up, the resentment builds up, if we're looking at our spouse, more than likely we're looking at the flaws, and we're starting to pick out the flaws. Okay, so. When we do that, we're very far from being the right person for our spouse. Okay.
If any of you guys have a perfect marriage, feel free to leave a comment in the section below how you kept it perfect, because we feel like we're always trying to learn how to improve our marriage. Okay. So feel free to share it with us.
Yes.
And
so
we're dealing with imperfect marriages here.
Well, we're dealing with healthy marriages.
Healthy marriages.
Yes, that's our goal, is to have a healthy marriage for all couples. And what does that mean, and what does that look like? Okay, so we can start by, instead of expecting our spouse to be the right person and waiting for something to happen, let's look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what can I do to be the right person for my spouse? Okay, and so what does being the right person for my spouse look like? It's actually very simple things that we can do in our daily lives that can make our spouse's lives a lot easier, better, and for them to eventually see the love that we have for one another. And it could be as simple as picking up a few extra chores to help them out a little bit, or maybe doing a little bit extra around the house if you notice that your spouse is having a busy or a rough week with the daily lives.
By the way, I just want to thank Tan for washing dishes yesterday. That was very
something
helpful.
very simple that you can do for your spouse, and then she appreciates it. Right?
I did.
And then maybe helping out with the kids a little bit more, or giving them a pass every now and then, instead of always saying, "Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that." But those are the simple things that we can start with.
So, are you saying when you catch yourself expecting things from them, rather than getting into the mindset of expectations, get into the mindset of acceptance and giving?
Well, I find what works for me is that it's sometimes it happens without us even noticing because we're so busy and
That's true.
we're tired sometimes, and it's very easy to get upset and say, gosh, why can't you do this, or why isn't he helping? But stop yourself and just ask, what can I do to make this better? And sometimes it's the question of what can I do is just staying quiet. Just staying quiet and not complaining and not fussing.
And that goes both ways.
Yes, it
for
does go
husband and
both
wife.
ways. And so a lot of you will probably say that, well, what if I'm doing that and he's not? Or what if I'm doing it and she's not?
Yeah.
Well, we have to start somewhere. So one of us has to start, one of us has to take the lead for our partner to follow. Okay? And be that example for one another. Because if we stop and wait for our spouse to make that initial step, most likely it won't happen, and the frustration will build, and it prevents us from growing in love for one another. Okay, yeah, and so again, we're looking at ourselves and asking, what can we do? What can I do to make it better? What can I do to be the right person for my spouse? What is it that my spouse needs at this time? Right?
Yeah.
And that will change, and those needs will change, and that's how we grow. That's how we grow in love for one another, and that's why when you talk to older couples, you see the love between them. It's because they've experienced all of those things,
And they have a better understanding.
and they have a
each
better
other.
understanding and more acceptance of one another.
Yeah. I have to say that early in my marriage, when I faced a challenge, I was so grateful that I opened up to you, because then I realized she also went through it.
Yes.
So
It's
sometimes even just sharing and communicating with a confidant, that you realize you're not alone.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. See, and that's another thing that
Yeah.
that if I can encourage couples to speak up more, because a lot of times couples feel, I don't know why they feel this way, but I guess it's just a human nature type of thing, that they feel that no one is going through this except me.
Yeah.
And I just want to keep this private. I want to keep it to myself. But once you start sharing, you will come to realize that I think every couple goes through struggles in one shape, one way, or one form.
Right.
And it's us being humble enough to share that weakness, that we come to find out that other couples are going through the same thing, and we actually help each other.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I find important, that as couples, we need to help each other grow.
Yes, we need to be supportive of one another, and thank God over the years that Anne has always been available to support me, and I'm very happy to be able to offer that to her as well, because I think we've really helped each other over the years to understand marriage better, to understand what it means to have family goals, and incorporating our children in ministry, and just living our daily lives and being happy.
And really realizing that when you hit a challenge in your marriage, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it.
No.
It's just an opportunity to
for
grow.
growth. It's opportunity
to
for
grow.
growth, and it's an opportunity to love each other even deeper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gonna take you to the next level.
Yes.
Yeah, the next depth of love, I guess you can say.
Yes. And so being the right person for our spouse also entails this. Ask yourselves, what is it that I expect from my spouse, or what is it that I would like to have from my spouse? Do I want his support? Do you want him to want him to be a person of integrity, of honesty? And so if you are expecting those things, look at yourself and say, am I supportive of him?
Right.
Do I have integrity? Am I honest with my feelings for him? And so it's kind of, when we say it out, it's very simple, and yet sometimes we find it very difficult to follow through on.
Yeah. And it's not like an overnight thing.
No, it's definitely not an overnight thing.
Journey or a process.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes. And another way is, perhaps we can go into more detail later on, but knowing your spouse's love language and loving them the way that they need to be loved or want to be loved.
What was the book that you recommended, Hang?
It's
you recommended
it's
a
the
book.
five love languages, and we find it. My husband and I find it so helpful in our marriage, and as well as using it for our children in disciplining and in loving our children. Yes, so I really recommend that. And so, to end, I just want to share that being the right person for our spouse, of course, it takes work, it takes sacrifice, it takes patience, and it takes perseverance. But in return, we get to experience a fulfilling, unconditional, sacrificial love that the Lord wills for all of us, and that's where we have that fulfillment in life, and to be able to live out our marriages in a healthy way.
Right.
You know?
And I feel like it's a beautiful gift.
Yes,
You know, it's a beautiful gift. At least my husband is a beautiful gift for me. You know, and to experience that.
and that is the whole point. That is
Right,
the whole
right.
point, because I don't think God designed marriage for us to be unhappy,
No,
for us
not
to
at
bicker,
all.
but no, it's for us to experience His love fully.
Right.
And in order to do so, we have to be vulnerable. We have to offer ourselves, and we have to look at ourselves and always try to do better.
Better, yeah.
Yes.
So thank you, Hang.
Okay.
Thank you. If you guys enjoyed this session, this broadcast, feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. I'm going to leave Hang's contact information below. If you guys ever have a question for her, you can, feel free to contact her directly.
Yes,
she's
yes,
available.
I
She's
am very available.
always wanting to help, couples
Yes.
build a stronger marriage and make it healthy. So I'll leave all her contact information below. And feel free to also join me on YouTube and on Instagram as I take on this journey of just trying to serve you guys and trying to grow the channel, and just trying to share all the wisdom and knowledge that myself and my guests will have that can help you. So thank you guys for joining us today. I apologize for the delay and for any technical difficulty that we faced initially, but we are live, and I had so much fun with you. Thank you, Hang.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so she'll be joining us more in the future. I know it. Yeah, right? So thank you guys, and have a good day. You guys take care, and I hope we inspired you to create something extraordinary. Bye. Good day. Bye.